Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm your master cosmologist, the head cheerleader to the stars, here with a complete report on the full moon in Scorpio occurring May 1st, 2026 at 13:23 Eastern Standard Time. That would be 1:23 for those of you that don't read military time. I actually did all signs shorts, little 3-minute snippets on what that energy is specifically for all of the zodiac signs. They're pretty punchy. I would highly recommend going and checking them out. But when I was doing them, the full story wasn't there. So I felt it really necessary to come in and do a little bit more detailed work. And I feel as if an 11-degree Scorpio full moon would ask for nothing less. It's really the difference between incomplete and complete, incompleteness and completeness, where leaving something out could be quite dangerous or precarious with it being in Scorpio. So this lunation does take place at 11 degrees of Scorpio, 20 minutes. This is a safe system. This is a transference to a completely protected and safe new system. Meaning you have the ability to put yourself there. You can put yourself in the safety zone. You can leave the chaos and the strife and all of the negativity of the old system internally. You can pull yourself into this fully. I'm going to be working with 3 different decks. I've got the Villains Tarot deck, called me very specifically for a reason. It is a Scorpio full moon, and we have the Earth in Scorpio, which means it's Scorpio season, not Taurus. Might as well be walking on the sun, says Smash Mouth. We are not on the sun. Anyway, speaking of the sun, I've got the Oracle of the Phoenix, where it does feel as if you will be pulling yourself out of the ashes by your bootstraps too. And we'll get into that. And the last deck I've got here is the Creativity Oracle, where there's a lot of complicated, duplicitous, villainous things that we have to fully grab ourselves out of. And then I feel like there's some creative energy available from doing that, accomplishing that. All right, so I've got a couple notes here so I don't forget anything. I'm called to first pull a tarot card for us, and then we'll go through the little points that I don't want to forget, and then we'll just wing it and see what else wants to come through. Let's see what card wants to come through here first. We've got 2. We have the 9 of Swords and the Empress. Okay. This is actually a hard look in the mirror. The 9 of Swords with this Empress being that she's in the mirror means that all of this 9 of Swords energy, the anxiety, the terror, the fear, this was all coming from you. It was conjured up by you. And the reason for that was to allow this system to persist. So now that Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini, we are kind of stepping through the looking glass and becoming the other version of ourselves. We were the Choppelganger, and now we need to be our greatest, bestest, most heroic. It's a totally different version of you. Every facet of you does a coin flip. It does a 180, and you step through this portal. You come out the ashes, basically, this other version of you. And it's all done through the power of your mind, through the power of intention, and also following your heart on through it. Okay, so I'm going to set these down and we will go over the facts and then we'll come back to the cards. The last day of the North Node at 7 degrees, quintessential degree of Pisces, is today. This is visionary energy. This is seeing yourself as your soul. It is aligning your compass with your soul and nothing less. The sun will be at 11 degrees of Taurus and the earth at 11 degrees of Scorpio. Getting two songs here for this lunation. The Courage to Change by Sia, and Little Wing by Sia. Have I the courage to change? Have you the courage to stop all of this behavior and step on through the looking glass and change into your other self? A brand spanking new version of yourself. Probably not completely, and you will probably need to smack yourself through that looking glass. You're not going to want to go completely willingly. You're going to have to be a bully. You're going to have to be a little bit severe with yourself. It's just the axis that we're at, Scorpio and Taurus. This is changing over to your system. 11 degrees of Scorpio, where the full moon occurs, is that protected system. It is protected because you've become a completely different person and you will stand for nothing less than total safety and protection of yourself. This change to your system requires you to have your own system. It requires you to have limits and boundaries in place, a structure, containment, so that you will be nourished and that you will not be struggling any longer. Mercury will be at 27 degrees of Aries. This is an Aryan degree. It nets a 9. 9 is the ruling number of Aries. So we're in mutant quintessence energy there. It's feeling like your soul, and that engages the mind different. It's going to operate you in the mannerisms of your soul. We'll have a 9-degree Gemini Venus, and that's acting as your other half. It's saying that you're going to quit acting, because Venus is a changing agent. She does switcheroonies. She is about the scales of Libra. It's like you have to put one down and pick one up. So you're going to be doing an I am change. You're going to be doing a quitting of one character and a initiation, starting up fully, of another character. This brand spanking new you. Jupiter is at 19 degrees of Cancer, which is the feeling the capacity to produce or manifest. It's this very big capacity. It's your full capacity to produce and to manifest. Whoosh. I've got a lot of energy releasing from below my eyes, actually. It's these words can't be unseen. So that's producing a flush of energy here. Anyway, Saturn is at 9 degrees of Aries. That is the quintessential mastery degree of Aries. It is the ego. It is the energy of action. It is the ability to go. It's our fuel. It's our power. Saturn there is the controller. And Saturn is a feminine planet. It's not a masculine planet. Saturn is the devil card. So you are sitting in the driver's seat kind of as a meanie head from here on out. And you have to put both hands on the wheel of your life and drive it from now on consciously, not even partially inebriated or half asleep. There's none of that. It's fully awake, fully conscious, and fully attuned to your North Node. It's sitting in the cockpit of a Ferrari. You may have been driving around a busted up, rusted up jalopy. No, Saturn is Capricornian. Capricorn isn't going to have no busted up vehicle. It's going to save the money up and invest in the nicest Ferrari or sports car it can put its bottom in. Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini. That is Alcyon. And what that is doing is recycling the old you. 0 degrees Gemini is like wiping the slate clean. It's basically killing off one character. It's the undertaking action. Uranus rotates on its side. I always think of it as kind of a thresher, kind of a tiller kind of energy. And it just left the biggest bullshit degree ever, which is a bullshit system. It's a consumerism system that's completely out of whack with nature and the earth. So we were able to recognize all the bullshit, see all the bullshit, see everything that needs to change. And Saturn at 9 degrees of Aries at the I am says, I am responsible, is what it's saying. I am responsible for 100% of everything going on here. Even if I didn't do it myself, hands-on, I am playing a role in this system. I am participating, therefore I am responsible. And that is a next level of responsibility and personal accountability that you can't weasel out of. Oops. Did you just hear me say that? You can't unhear me say that. You can't unsee it. Oops, you should have clicked on like a basic ass generic astrologer, not like Queen Bitch. Yeah, 0 degrees of Gemini is like, you better have a grip on your mind. And you better not let mind control steer you all cattywampus and all over the place, because that's what all this chatter and cacophony of noise out there would do if you didn't have a good grip on your mind. Neptune at 3 degrees of Aries is diffusion of innovation. I think I'll come back to that point as the last point. I've got 2 other little math points to talk about, and then we'll go on to cards. The first is Pluto at 5 degrees of Aquarius. This would be changing the vibe from one character's vibe to the other character's vibe. It's going to also, it's a patterning. It's like a freezing element there. It's going to kill off an old buzzkill vibe and hopefully bring on one that is upbeat and positive and doesn't succumb to the collective's vibe. Like, think wasp energy, like swarming and just be angry. We want to stay out of that. Lastly, the North Node will be at 6 degrees of Pisces. That's conversion. It's a conversion. You don't have any choice in it. You have to convert. So surrender, it's saying. So back to Neptune at 3 degrees of Aries and this diffusion of innovation. Diffusion of innovation is a bell curve. And at one side, you have the innovators. You have the ones taking the lead and who are brave and who are brazen and who are forging new territory and leading the collective in a new direction. Then you have the early adopters. Then you have in the middle, the majority. You have the early majority, the late majority, and then you have the laggards, which we could call the resistors or the dinos or the endangered species. Might not make it through. So where do you want to be on this bell curve? You know, it's like, get in with the innovators and find yourself advancing and flourishing, or get left behind is really Saturn's advice right now at 9 degrees Aries. Saturn is sitting in a new car, and this new car, the previous model was automatic. It was on free will, and it just kind of drove. It's an automatic self-driving car, kind of. This new car is, like I said, a Ferrari. It is a sports car. It is premium. It runs on high octane fuel, and it is manual. Ironically, it has no choice to be this. It has no choice any longer. It has to drive in a Ferrari from now on, basically. So all that to say, Saturn's going to be driving at a really fast pace. This is where the year of the fire horse just gallops. And it gallops with those innovators way out in front of everyone else. You know, like many, many lengths behind are the early adopters. All right, so that's all the data points I had for you. Let's grab cards. The first one is worry here. It was sitting at the top of the deck. It has angels on it. Worry is the type of energy that's going to plow you under. That's a mental loop. I would call this energy from English to English, speaking in right angles instead of speaking gibberish or garbledygook or being puppeted. This is speaking life. She who speaks life, she who breathes life, she who formulates. I saw a lemniscate. This would be an eradication of all worry, or else you would just go back into the Maya, back into your karma, and keep recycling and relooping. The card beneath that is reflection. You have seen your doppelganger. You've seen your doppelganger, and you can't unsee it. I feel like this is saying whenever you get a hint of that old reflection, you have to change your mind. You have to catch yourself in the act. And then lastly, I'm going to get, oh no, this card wants to be last, and I won't even show it to you. It wants to be last. There was a card on the bottom there. Let's get an oracle card from, no, I'm supposed to get another tarot card. We'll go tarot card, Phoenix card, and then creativity oracle. Oh, 2 of Wands. I love this. Okay, so I get 0 degrees Gemini, Uranus magic here. I get visionary. I get this as the 2 twins. Once they've done their 180 switch, the two halves of you aren't adversarial any longer. They're not, this looks to me like crossing wires. There's some really interesting Gemini I keep rubbing my brain today. There's some interesting Aquarian energy here. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Just take it in, take what you will from it. But yeah, instead of crossing wires where they spark and they arc and they're not completing the circuit, the wires, this is two hemispheres as well. Your two hemispheres finally unite and the wires fuse together properly where they can create magic together. And because of that, success becomes pretty much inevitable. Enjoying your life and the unfolding of your creative abilities as much as possible is real success. Real success. Real success. The sun is in Taurus. It's highlighting real success. Like what actual physical on earth success looks like. Not just talking the talk. It's real. It's tangible. It's physical. The rewards are visible, touchable, experienceable. Okay, let's get a Phoenix card. Dark thoughts. Ooh, upset. This actually feels harnessed. This feels like dark thoughts that have immense power, where once they brought you down and they took you into ash, the dark phoenix rises within, and it is powerful because it knows how to harness and utilize dark energy properly. It's wielded. It's not erratic or errant or misbehaving. It's like a directed energy weapon. It's very potent and it's also very directed. It's not all over the place and causing chaos. It's gonna hit the mark. It's going to make its point. And that's all I need to say about that, it said. All right, last card here is this image. In charge. Large and in charge. Uranus, where it's sitting. If we know our cosmology at all, our astrology, we can figure this imagery out here. The card title is Visualize. When we develop our abilities to visualize, we can manifest maximum influence on our experience of reality. So visualizing ourselves in our highest light. And also, this is all wielded energy. Their wands aren't jizzing. Their wands aren't spazzing out. Their wands aren't sending energy all over the place in a clumsy, apprentice, weak-ass sorcerer. Like, this is big magic, and it is adept. There's an adeptness coming through here. And finally, with the visualize, I'll summarize this message here. It's the power of all three eyes. Past, future, present. The doppelganger that we were, who we're becoming, and who we are presently. You know, it's like a lot of ability to triangulate three different perspectives of ourselves, and then also to harness the ability to visualize, to be a world builder, to create dreams. Disneyland. That's why this deck wanted to come out. It's like the villains are going to create their own wonderland, their own version of an imagination land. Tomorrowland. Yeah. It's going to be Tomorrowland after this lunation. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. That's what I've got for you. And I will see you on another video. Bye.